Hello everyone, welcome to Focus Positives. In this video, I'll show you 3 simple haircuts in varying lengths that you can use to transition back and forth from short to long or long to short hairstyles. You'll be able to cut a decent haircut even without knowing how to cut hair right away. And you'll be able to do this practically blindfolded. First, I'll go over the pros, cons, and hacks and tips of how I achieved these 3 lengths of short haircuts using the Flowbee hair cutting system. Tips will work for the lady or gentleman haircut, girls or boys haircuts. At the end of the video, you'll be able to see all the hairstyles I've tried. In my first Flowbee review and hack video, I showed you how to cut your own hair into perfect long layers. Be sure to check out that video if you're interested in longer hairstyles. Hit the subscribe button for more videos from me. The obvious pros of having a vacuum hair cutting system is you'll be saving lots of money in the long run. You won't have to wear any capes or anything to protect yourself from hair falling on yourself or on the ground because there's absolutely no cleanup and you don't have to worry about going into the salon and possibly getting infected. Most importantly, you will not mess up like this with the Flowbee versus some scissors. You probably will just have a shorter haircut if you mess up. The first and most obvious con. With the blade and vacuum running, you cannot ignore the noise. Good thing you can fix it with some earplugs. Con number 2, it's not as easy to cut short hairstyles as Flowbee infomercial portrays. They show it like you can just take the wand and move it around your head. Your hair will cut off easily. That's not true for everyone, especially for those of us who have coarse hair. And one is due to the way that Flowbee attaches to the blade and the spacers attach to each other. And they have pretty big gaps that will cause uneven airflow, and it will not suck up coarser hair into the vacuum to pull it up out straight so you can cut off the hair. It will just not pull up your hair evenly, so it will not cut straight cuts, and this shows up as really bad mistakes in straight coarse hair, especially if it's shorter. That's what my experience is. The second part of this is coarse section paired with the inability to see the back of your head makes it really hard to make a clean, nice haircut. Luckily, the first part is pretty easy to fix. The suction, you can just use some tape and tape it around each gap. And then also, if you're going to do short haircuts and if your hair is extra stiff, you're going to have to tape around the blade as well, where the blade and the spacers meet. So that will cause some issues or cause more delay as you switch your spacers. So you'll have to take out the tape and then re-tape it back on, so you get the idea. It can be quite annoying. What I do is I just tape the spacer and then I don't tape it to the blade at this point because it's just too much hassle. Before we get started, you do need a vacuum hair cutting system like the Flowbee. You'll need some bobby pins, some hair ties, a comb, and extra wide microfiber headband, and a vacuum cleaner. If you don't have a vacuum hair cutting system, you can try cutting shears and clippers with the techniques I'm about to show you. Before you dive into the deep end of cutting your hair completely short from long hair, it's probably a good idea to collect some of your favorite looks that you want to imitate, especially in your hair texture, because that will best reflect how your hair will behave once you cut it short. Next, you should choose a specific hairstyle you want to imitate. And furthermore, this is an extra step. You can research how in general you would achieve this haircut. This extra step is to get you more comfortable with the idea. The first and shortest haircut is the easiest haircut. It's a one length haircut throughout the whole head. So you basically don't need to see anything. You don't need to do anything special. If you're going to go for the shortest spacer, that's all you need to do. Attach it and just go through your whole head and you're done. You don't even need to see where you're cutting. It's so simple. Anybody can do it. I usually use the 1/2 inch or the 1 inch. So if you want a longer one length haircut, then you can tape up the spacers that have gaps between and you're done. This hairstyle is super chic and easy to maintain. I'd say no maintenance needed. Just cut your hair more often. It dries in no time and you can shower whenever you want and be out of the house or in bed in less than 10 minutes. You literally can just blindfold yourself and you'll be able to get a perfect haircut. From here, we'll address the third con of not being able to see the back of your head. For the medium and longer pixie haircut, there's 2 ways you can go about this. One is a little bit more simplified version and the second version is a little bit more advanced. Once you have things set up, you won't need to see what you're doing. You'll be able to cut even cuts in the back of your head. Because pixie haircuts usually have a longer top and shorter bottom, so it's really important to have a good parting of your hair so you can cut like a shorter side and shorter back and then a longer top on top of your head. The easier way to do this is using a simple headband. For the easier version, I like to use a microfiber headband that is extra wide. It has a lot of grip, and with hair that is extra slippery like mine, it still holds everything in place and will not shift around. This is very important if you want to keep that straight, neat line for parting your hair that's on top and on bottom. Then I like to take a comb and feel through the bottom of the headband to straighten out the line to get any hair that is a little bit long and has not fallen down to the bottom. And this is normal because your hair will be longer than the length you want. I'm applying the headband method to a grown out buzz cut or the shortest haircut. It's all one length, but now I want to transition it to a pixie cut, which is longer on top, shorter on the bottom. But this is a shorter version of the pixie cut. So I'm just parting my hair below my ears to make it easier, less complicated, and I'll just cut it all off in the shortest spacer possible, and then I'm just leaving the top in the length that it's grown to. For you, if you have longer hair, you can cut the whole head in a length that you want the top to be. So the top, you want to cut your whole head at the longest length you want the pixie cut to be, and then you use the headband to separate the top and the bottom, and then cut the bottom to the shortest length. The second way to part your hair might require someone to help you because you can't quite see the back of your head, but if you're feeling adventurous, go for it. You're gonna part your hair from the end of your eyebrow, pulling it all the way back to the crown of your head into a U shape. So if you're looking at the top of your head, you'll see a kind of elongated U shape on the top of your head. This will give you shorter sides and back. You can grow your hair a lot longer on top, and once you have it parted, you can easily do your haircut. As you repeat haircuts during the same process, you'll have a even longer top and shorter bottom. This separates the hair even more drastically, so the next time you cut your hair again, you won't need anyone's help. You can just grab the longer hair, tie it up, and then you can trim the bottom of your head just like normal. For these pixie cuts, I usually like to cut the bottom first using the shortest spacer. Depending on the length of the pixie cut, I will choose between a 1.5 to 3 inch spacer for the top portion of my head. You can choose longer and work your way down to see what you like best. You can easily transition a long pixie cut into a short bob by taking the headband and moving it to the top of your head and sliding it down, forcing all your hair on the top to the bottom. So you'll have a straight line of the longer hair growth from the top, and then you can trim the hair growth into a straight edge. And then as you grow it, it will become a short bob or a long bob. To customize the cut of your hair, you can also add some bangs. You can feather it, you can slant it, and you can just cut it straight into a blunt cut, or maybe curve it into a heart shape, whatever you like. I like to add some bangs to longer pixie cuts. If you'd like me to expand more on these ideas or haircuts, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try my best to grow my hair and demonstrate each haircut in more detail. Keep in mind these tricks and tips are used by me. I've been using it for myself since I started cutting short hair, so it's for newbies, and I hope that it will help you ease the pain of cutting your hair short. For me, it was quite difficult. So these are some of the tricks that I've just come up with that works best for me. It may be the back of your hair, there might be a bigger separation, like more like a bowl cut in these methods, but it works out very evenly, so that way I think it works good for me. So I hope you'll give it a try, and hopefully will keep you happy during COVID-19 and you don't have to go out and get your hair cut. Even though Flowbee has a lot of cons and you have to do a lot of little things to set it up, but I think in general I really enjoyed cutting my hair short. It's been a learning experience. Each haircut comes out a little bit slightly different, but still I've really enjoyed short hair. In the past I never considered short haircuts. This tool gave me a lot of freedom to experiment. I learned a lot about my hair and the length I like through trial and error. I just really enjoyed this experiment. So this is actually how my hair looks like when I first cut it short. It sticks up really badly. I just did a cleaning of our atrium, so excuse me. So this is how my hair feels like when I first cut it. It's very stiff, and when you go over the hair, it kind of goes like, does this bouncy thing. And it's really funny because when I washed my hair, when I went over it, like scrubbed like against the hair, the shampoo and everything would just splatter everywhere, and I could feel it on my back. So imagine like I'm scratching my own hair, and like this would just splatter everywhere. So that's a fun fact about what happens when you cut your hair really, really short. And if you have really stiff hair like me, this is how it's going to feel like. If you found this review and tutorial helpful in encouraging you to try and cut your own hair, share this video with your friends and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more future tutorials like this one. Thanks for watching. Bye!